Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Marvel Strike Force live show number 2. I got really close to saying the Alliance live show, but yeah, welcome to Marvel
Hello, everyone,
Strike
and
Force
welcome
live
to
show number 2. And I'm super excited to be joined by my co-host and esteemed colleague, good old Maurice, the Golden Chinchilla himself. How you doing today, brother?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Okay, good to hear. Yeah, so obviously there's some new stuff coming into the game. We have a new character coming. Just have to switch cameras there. I hope that didn't make a big difference for you guys. But we have Mordo coming into the game, and I wanted to take a quick look at the character bio and just kind of see where he's at. And we're not going to be getting him until next Friday is when the Blitz event actually runs. Where is he? There he is. Okay, so he's a powerful sorcerer who weakens his enemies with a forbidden magic. And he's a villain, he's a cosmic, he's a mystic character, he's a controller, and a martial artist. I don't know what martial artist actually means as far as a category is concerned. Are there any other martial artists that you know of in this game?
All the hand, and I think maybe Iron Fist.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Let me look for sure. Yeah, Daredevil as well. Daredevil, all the hand, and Iron Fist, and Mordo. That's all of them.
Okay, so basically, his basic attack is gonna. It looks like he's really kind of centric around negative status effects. Like his basic attack is gonna apply negative status effects to two negative status effects to a target. And at level 4, he always applies a negative status effect with his basic. His special attack here, Mesmerize, will apply blind to the primary target, and it will apply slow at level 6 to 2 targets. There's a 50%
What?
chance to also apply stun instead of blind to the primary target at level 5.
Yeah, he's super debuff oriented. And if you like, once we get a level cap increase, we can take him up to 7. That chance to stun is 100%.
Okay.
So yeah, he'll stun the primary target, blind 3 additional target, and then 50% of chance to apply slow to 2 more targets. So that's a lot of debuffs going around. Really disruptive, really disruptive kit.
He looks like a pretty badass wizard.
Yeah.
Okay, so his Demons of Denak is another special which attacks all targets and applies a heal block for 1 turn, and this ability cannot miss. That's just at level 1. At level 5, he applies heal block for 2 turns, and obviously the damage increases on each level. So he's going to basically, do block or healing immunity to the primary target. Or actually, no, AOE healing immunity to the entire team. So that's pretty interesting. And this attack cannot miss, so you can't dodge it or evade it.
Yeah. And level 6, it's 2 turn heal block. So that's pretty nasty. It's Blitz is gonna be a great Blitz character. There's always the teams with like the medic or the night nurse that are relatively difficult to get around anyway, but you can just completely neutralize the healer. It'll be interesting. I don't have any experience with this character. It'll be interesting to see if this is available at the beginning of the match or not. I do not know yet. So,
yeah, I mean, it's a pretty interesting kit so far. I'm interested to see how it'll go. The only thing that kind of bums me out is, again, he's a blitz character, so you're not going to have him. The best I'm gonna, I'm not going to get number 1 in a blitz tournament. The best I'm going to do is get, possibly 30 shards, 40 shards, and that's if I go all out, try my butt off, and like literally just play blitz for the next 3 days. You know what I'm saying? So I'll maybe on the second go around or the third go around, I'll get him to I wonder what's he, a 3-star character?
well, I learned last week, like those Blitz are a joke. I got 750,000 in that Doctor Strange Blitz, acting like I was doing something, and that wasn't good enough for top 500. So it's tough, especially for a brand new character.
Well, what's cool is you unlock him at 2 stars, so there's only 45 shards you need to unlock him. So that's kind of cool. So you can get him, unlocked pretty easily. So his unique ability is on death of any character, heal self for 5% of this character's max health. On death of a mystic character, heal self for 10% of this character's max health. Uh, on death of a mystic at level 2, gain ability energy. Heal for 15% of max health on death of a mystic at level 3, and heal for 10% of max health from the death of any character on level 4. So that's pretty interesting.
Well, and there's some good mystic characters. Thanos, Thor, Yondu. You got Doctor Strange. You got Black Panther. You got the Hand. There's some decent. Your boy Ronan. There's some decent mystic characters that could, you can kind of pair with those Blitz teams and get some use out of that. Kind of similar to at level 6, you get ability energy on a kill for mystic characters. I believe it is. So just a little perk, kind of build them around a mystic team, and we do got that mystic campaign at some point. We'll get there. So I don't know. I don't know how well he'll do in the mystic campaign, but I don't know.
I don't know.
No damage. He's got no damage.
Well, he'll be another character. I mean, listen, he's not going to be Iron Man. So I'm not looking, for that. But he's another mystic character. He's another villain that can help you with your dark side stuff. So in that respect, he's kind of cool. And I mean, when I do face the character, he does look and has some pretty interesting abilities. It's just, I don't know. Again, he's one of those characters that we're probably not going to get at too high of a level to start. So I'll probably be more excited when I actually have him. But that's Mordo. Again, I'm it's a week out. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm sure this game is going to do reworks and add different synergies. I'm sure at some point, and this is me really just being a fanboy and kind of hoping. I mean, I do hope at some point the characters like you mentioned, like Ronin will eventually have some sort of viability in the game. Even if it's not right now, maybe there'll be some sort of a synergy with him and Thanos, or him and I mean, he already has a synergy with the Kree. So if you have all Kree characters, which actually is a pretty good team, he can be viable. But I mean, who has like a whole Kree team? Not me.
So they're quite good for Blitz, like a Kree team. Kind of like as you're rising. I mean, I wouldn't suggest bringing them in like tier 7, tier 8, but you can get the job done. They got lots of ability energy floating around. They got all sorts of healing elements as a team. Reaper does some pretty sick damage. Pretty good team. That Cyborg is also very good. Good blaster for that challenge that everyone kind of struggles with. Kree Cyborg is not bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have some Deadpool packs to pull here. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I get some 20 drops here. I mean, I really need it. This is the last weekend, and I am pretty far off from getting him to 5 stars. I would need a miracle. So I'm hoping that I get some really lucky pulls here. Oh, there's a 4 pull. That's fantastic. That's pretty much just what you get. Let's see. Another 4 pull. This is
I just asked Panda Ghost if they got theirs, but I got mine to 5 stars. So I feel like this little extra weekend really got me over. It really helped me out.
Come on, man. They all I know is they better give me like another 15 shards at the end of this thing, because otherwise, just like they did with Thanos, because otherwise I'm not going to get. I don't even think even with that 15 shards I'll get it done. Right now I'm at 68 of 130.
See, Panda says he needs like 11 more pulls too. I must have just got super lucky. I guess I just got really, really lucky. Because I think there might have been one Deadpool raid where I placed like in the top 12, where I actually got a little extra. And all the rest of them, I'm like sitting in 15th place. I don't have the roster to really crush these like multiple nodes in this raid.
And I really like Deadpool, so I mean, like this would be a character that I would use a lot. I mean, I would probably use him more frequently than a lot of the other characters that I have. But whatever. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, even if I don't get, I mean, they haven't brought back Thanos in any way. So I mean, hopefully maybe they rotate that event. Like they'll bring back the Thanos raids again, and they'll bring back the Deadpool raids again at some point. But I don't know. It's I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. If I get like 220 pulls, then I have a shot. If they give us like 20 shards at the end of the whole event. But I mean, right now as it stands, I'm 62 shards away. So I would need some magic. I would really need like 220 pulls. Really, I need like 2 full 20s. But I mean, again, I haven't gotten any 20 pulls. So if I could get 2, I mean, maybe my luck. Maybe I get some luck. Who knows? We'll have to see. Anyway, right now I'm gonna go ahead and pull this this free pack here, and then we'll get into some raid battles. So, how you doing with the Drax Blitz? I mean, first of all, I think he's a fantastic character. So, I'm
awful. I blew this Blitz. I lost like back to back. Like I got the tier 5 and lost my first battle. Then went back to tier 4 and lost again. It kicked me back to tier 3. So I'm done. That's it. That's a wrap for me. I'm not going to do well at all. If I get the 10 to 25%, I'll be shocked. I didn't really have any tokens. I went nuts on that Doctor Strange. I used everything I had for Doctor Strange, and came up short. That was kind of demoralizing. Like I really thought I had a legit chance, and I got like 750th place, 750,000 points. Just like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, the Doctor Strange character is actually really awesome too. So I mean, if you got, I only got 5 shards. So I mean, then again, I don't really. I mean, you probably played the Blitz like way more than I did. I mean, I can't.
Oh, I spent way too much time playing this last Blitz. Like, way too much, an embarrassing amount of time on this last Blitz. I don't worry about hours.
I mean, because we're playing against the guys who have like who've been playing since launch, right? Like since before beta, since beta.
Basically. Oh yeah, you start getting up to tier 7, tier 8. I mean, my team's like I'm at a 20k power deficit almost. Tier 8, I can only use my arena team. I have to in tier 8. I can win the first battle with my arena team, and then I have to send in like a suicide team to lose and go back to the first battle and just repeat. That drains your tokens quick. I just don't have the depth,
Well, that's crazy. I mean, there's no chance. It's like you're competing against people that have been playing this game for like half a year longer than you. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. And I don't know. I mean, that's why it's kind of difficult. It's really tough to get amped up about it because, and this is what I mentioned like on the first stream. It's like really there's two types of players in this game. There's people who played, for beta, back in December and November of last year, and then there's people who have been playing since it just launched, now, a couple months ago, and, I didn't create an Australian account or whatever and start the game. I waited till it was available in my store, and now. I'm kind of behind. I kind of wish I did start the account earlier. I mean, I'm not hating on anybody who did. I mean, good for you for starting early, because I mean, you were able to jump on a cool game, in advance. But now because I didn't do that, I'm kind of paying the price. So I wish I had a little bit more of a head up, because then like I said, I mean, you'd be playing, end game content right now, trying to get to, some of these characters. I mean, right now it's still we're still kind of at that point right now where we're, I guess like at the beginning of the game, still just kind of farming characters. I mean, we don't have any 7-star characters yet, just really, getting together different squads and running people in arena that I guess ideally you wouldn't be running in arena maybe 5 or 6 months from now once you have a couple of, higher level players. I mean, I think that eventually, of course I'd want to run, characters like Iron Man or, Black Widow. I'd want to run Black Panther if I had him, but these characters are, out of my reach at the moment. So, I mean, hopefully, at some point, I can, get the characters together, or maybe at some point they make some sort of deal that actually makes a little bit of sense. I know we were talking about this a little bit earlier. I mean, these deals are just atrocious.
Yeah, they're bad.
They're just bad. bad. Now, that's that for this raid from me. But let's collect the.
Well, that being said, I did get the $5 shield operative one. I did do that. But the rest of these, they're just a little steep. Like, well, Hawkeye, maybe that one's okay. But Quake for $20 for 45 shards. I mean, you can get that in what, 3 or 4 days out of the arena store, 5, depending on where you place. I mean, it's not difficult to get her.
It's not great. Look at this deal here, the raid for Wade. I mean, like, who needs this?
Yeah, the chimichanga packs. I don't know.
Who needs that? Who needs the snack attack? Like, who's going to spend $10 for that? I mean, I guess that's really just for Blitz, or I guess, but some of this stuff is also wasted if you haven't used the materials. That's another hesitation here when buying this stuff. Like, for example, let's say you have full health, right? Then you buy this pack. You're just wasting 500 health. Right?
No. There's a star right there. Items ignore resource capacity.
Okay. So you'd have like 1,000 health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So that makes me feel a little bit better then. But
I got that pack for Doctor Strange Blitz and still came up short. So lesson learned. Lesson learned.
They had that credit heist or something like a credit heist like a couple weeks ago, and they haven't done that since. And then you got these stupid 500k packs here for 1,500 crystals. I don't want that. I mean, I'm not even in a situation where I care about credits. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, most of the characters that I really want to be level 60 are level 60 already. The only reason I really need credits would be to get the rest of my roster up, which I'll do over time. I don't care about that. I'm more concerned about getting character shards. There should be a deal out every single day that entices me to buy Black Panther. There should be a deal out every day that entices me to buy some of these premium characters. I mean, I should be getting deals for Winter Soldier, deals for Black Widow, all the time, especially before they eventually throw the character into like a farmable node, which is like the next step for some of these characters, right? Like, I mean, Black Panther is probably due for a free-to-play node at some point here. And they haven't like really enticed me with any pack that makes sense to buy her. Now, maybe when they first came out, I mean, there was like a $50 pack where you get like 30 shards or something like that. That's stupid. I mean, the only pack that I saw that was awesome was that Captain America pack for that was great. Now I know that obviously that was like basically a gimme. That was like you started the game. That was almost like they just gave you 100 shards for Captain America basically. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying though is they could do something. It doesn't have to be that cheap. It doesn't have to be $10 for 100 shards. But I mean, let's say you spend $20 instead of 45 Quake shards. Give me 100 Captain America. Give me 100 Black Widow shards. That would be awesome. For $20, I would buy that pack. Absolutely, I would buy that pack right now. Sign me up. Give me a $20 to $30 pack for 100 Black Widow shards. I buy it right now, today, on the stream live. You know what I'm saying? But they're not going to do that. They're going to sell me, the Raid for Wade packs. I don't know, man. It's every day. It's like, and the people complain about the packs. I see other people that cover this game that complain about the packs, and yet for some reason they don't make any changes.
Well, because people are buying them. People are buying. I don't know about the Raid for Wade pack. I don't know about that, but I mean the gold packs. People are buying them. That's why they keep putting them up. I mean, every single day we get spammed with credit or like gold packs every single day. There's a gold pack in the offers. People are buying them.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah. It is what it is. I mean, the people that do buy those packs are allowing me to play this game for, pretty much free. So buy away. That's fine. But just
yeah, no. I don't hate on people who are buying the packs. I mean that's cool. But what I'm saying is that there's nothing wrong with buying packs. I'm just saying like in addition to those packs, there should be other packs that are like enticing that involve, characters. And I don't know. I just feel like there's not. And I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's any like they're even thinking about it. Like what I'm saying. I don't know.
Well, it's a new game, and I'm sure there's some experimenting going on with price points, but they're trying to pretty much just shoot for the stars early. So
like Mordo's coming out next week, right? When Mordo releases, okay, what would be interesting would be like a 50 shard pack from, because then you win the Blitz. Let's say you get 30 shards from the Blitz. Now you have you unlock Mordo with the pack. Then let's say you get another 50 shards from the Blitz. Now you're talking about like a 4-star character. I'm just saying, they could sell with the Blitz, and it would be like a really good tandem. And it seems like, I don't know, like there's just, I mean, I should have gotten a deal for Doctor Strange by now. Like, I should be able to buy Doctor Strange without having to go buy these random packs where you can get, where you can end up getting Shield Operative. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. I mean, like, it's either Chromium, basically the equivalent of a Chromium pack, or busts right now, and that's not that cool. Because I don't like. I'd rather guaranteed character shards. You know what I'm saying, and that's what'll make me spend money. I'm not gonna roll the dice and get shards for more rodent shards. I want shards for characters that are relevant. You know what I'm saying, and the characters that they should be selling right now that are really meta characters are Black Widow, Black Panther. I wish I could go back in time, buy that Black Panther deal that was out a few months ago. Well, the only meh thing about it is that Black Panther's not really, you can't really get him up from there. So like once you get him, he's what, 3-star. Is he farmable? He's not farmable anywhere, right? He's just still still premium.
Yeah. It would be cool, like you just fought against a Vision there. Like he was a Blitz a few weeks ago. It'd be cool to see like a little $10 pack for just like 30 of his shards or something. It's not enough to unlock him, but if you play the Blitz and come up a little short, then you could buy it and then get your 2-star Vision. And we've all been playing, or at least you and I have been playing long enough now where 2-star characters are really starting not to be as usable as they once were. So you got a 2-star character. It's like the Star Wars game where they give us the marquee events and then we get a 2-3-star character that's essentially useless until we can finish him. At least we can just fool around with him and look at him. Like
right. At least you can
get him in the inventory.
You can spin him around in your inventory. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's be real. Okay, that's what this game is. Okay, you just Star Wars. The cool factor is just spinning the character around your inventory and just gearing the character up. I mean, it's character collection. This game. It's about looking at your roster. I mean, you probably spend more time looking at your roster than you actually do playing the game.
Well, that's the same with any of these type of games.
Yeah. You spend more of your time sitting there looking at the character spinning in the roster department than you do actually playing the game. So, I mean, this is basically character collection and some action. So, yeah, I mean, it would be cool if they had some of those packs. Absolutely. I mean, I would be a huge fan of that. But we'll have to see. I mean, maybe one day they'll hear the cries and make some sort of an adjustment. This raid is super hard. This raid
yeah.
I mean, it's like really hard. I think I'm stealing Wrath's battles here, but okay. So this squad is pretty much all dead. I'm gonna go ahead and put in Captain America. Okay, we'll do that squad right there. I mean,
we barely got that 60% on the previous raid. It was like exactly 60% with like 2 hours ago. I was like, wow, I couldn't do anything else. Like I had nothing else to do. I wasted not wasted, but I used my entire inventory. I used up almost all my little green refresh things, the heals. I had a bunch of those, I guess, left over from that one pack. So I used most of those, and still very, very little. I've got one team. I have 6 characters that can cut it. Well, 7 if you count Night Nurse, and then the rest of my roster is just completely useless for this raid.
Oh yeah, no, this is like a joke. I mean, I can't do any. I mean, I'm not good enough for this raid. Let's just be real, And these guys are getting destroyed. This is my B team, and I'm not even gonna be able to beat half of the squad with my B team. This is my second battle. Come on, Thor. That does like no damage. That should do a lot more damage. Well, maybe my Thor's is not high level enough. I need to get my Thor up a little bit.
Oh, you talking about that? Oh no, yeah, the stun, the AOE. Eventually, once you max out that ability, it does do some pretty decent damage. His hammer throw is a joke though. When you chuck that hammer, it doesn't chain at all, and you just do like 3,500 damage with a special move. You're like, ugh, just ugh, it's not good. His basic attack does almost like double the damage of that hammer.
Oh, did he really just dodge? Come on, man, that's ridiculous. When you dodge that Wolverine, berserk attack, that's devastating. Because that should have taken out Daredevil. Oh, that's awful. All right.
No, I just said 2-star characters aren't that desirable, but I tell you what, Cable, he's kind of a boss. A little 2-star Cable doing some work.
Cable's good. Cable's a really good character, and he's somebody they should be selling right now. I mean, just sell me Cable. I want Cable. His kid is actually really cool. His character animations are really cool. I really enjoyed using him in that like test battle that they had when you were able to play around with him a little bit with Deadpool. That was cool. But since then nothing. All right, let's get some campaign here. I want to do some more Dark Side because that'll unlock me a few nodes here that I need to get done. I don't know if my Dark Side's good enough for this. My Dark Side's like weak, really weak. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what they do with the character cadence, because again, there's not really. They really haven't had many instances that we've seen so far, so we really don't know how they're going to handle it. And I guess we have an idea if they're going to do anything similar to what they do in Star Wars. They're probably going to, release the characters, into like a free to play node eventually, and we'll be able to farm them, and it'll probably be the same idea. But it would be cool if to speed the process up, they in tandem with releasing the character free to play, do try to sell some sort of a bundle or some sort of a pack that's, I guess, like a bargain pack, something similar to the Captain America pack. But I don't know, I doubt it, because that was, I think that deal was too good to be true. I don't think we're getting a deal like that again anytime soon, But
now that's a deal that pops up for every player that joins, like after X amount of levels or activity or something, that everyone gets access to that. That just wasn't something I got lucky and happened to join, was it?
No, I think everybody gets that.
Yeah.
But let's before I get into the next battle, let's move on to our top 5 for this week. This week we're doing the next logical top 5 from last week, which is top 5 protectors in Marvel Strike Force. So obviously, again, there's not a ton of characters in this game. There's still a decent amount, though, enough to come up with a nice list here. And we're going to go on to number 5 here, which...
Well, I mean, the thing about the protectors is there's a lot of good ones. A lot of these characters can be, like 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, like basically there's a couple, there's 2 or 3 that are A, like number 1, and then the rest are number 2. There's a lot of good characters that didn't make the list, but number 5 is Thanos, right? We went with Thanos at number 5.
Yes.
And this might seem shocking. A lot of you guys might think he's a little higher, but he's just he's not quite as good as some of the other protectors, but very, very good. And they gave him a little rework. Just a slight little tweak on his unique. It's when he kills a character, he's got a 75% chance to generate 2 ability energy to himself or to an adjacent cosmic ally. So if you have some characters like Thor, or you have characters, trying to think of like Cable, we just mentioned, Korath. There are a lot of good cosmic characters. You put them right next to him, and if he kills somebody, you can get that Thor stun off quick. You can refresh some of Korath's abilities. You can refresh some of Cable's abilities real quickly, and really get an edge in the battle. So that's good. He does have an AoE. His energy bomb. It does decent damage, 210% at level 6. But the cool part is it's 100% drain. just basically like health steal. So he gets to refill his health back up. You know, he taunts first, eats a bunch of damage, AoE, heals himself up, repeat. So that's nice. Basic attack it has a counter element to it. 80% chance to counter. And then his brutal assault is his taunt. And this actually can do decent damage, 300% damage, and apply offense down, and then you gain taunt. So very good kit. Which tells you the strength of the other top 4 characters, you know, because this is a really good kit. Great character, you know, like we mentioned earlier, the raid, only attainable right now through the raid. So what you have is what you have. You can't really amp him up any further at this time.
Right. I mean, has an 80% chance to gain counterattack with his basic. His basic does a decent amount of damage. It actually has a really cool animation when you do take a character out. You can like choke slam a character to the ground, which is pretty awesome. He does pretty decent damage with his taunt, and he applies offense down, like you said. And while he's taunting with his unique ability, Titan Eternal, he has 1,000% extra resistance while he's taunting. On a kill, 50% chance to generate 2 ability energy to self or adjacent cosmic ally. So if you have him stacked up with other cosmic allies, like you said, he's going to be really at his best. And his area of effect attack isn't necessarily a super high damage dealing, but it does, attack all targets, and it has once you're at level 6, I believe, 100% drain, right? Which what does drain do again?
It just is like health steal. Okay. So basically, the damage when you max it out, 100% drain is if he does 3,000 damage, he heals for 3,000. Like it's pretty awesome. That's a great move, but you do have to take it all the way up, as it the health drain percentages. I think. Let me double check. I think it goes up every time. So yeah, he is a character you kind of want to max out. Maybe not his basic attack, but the rest of his kit you do want to do. Every time you amp up the ability, the damage goes up. It's only 50% drain at level 3, then it goes up to 80 at 4 and 106.
Well, what's cool about him is a lot of the abilities, with some of the other characters, only pertain to a certain faction, really. And his kit is kind of universal in the fact that, I mean, even though he's unique, does apply to cosmic allies, you still get a benefit of 1,000% extra resistance while taunting, and that's something that's not necessarily tied to any type of restriction or anything like that. So I mean, I guess again, a lot of people just have these kits that you don't necessarily need to max out because you're not going to gain a huge benefit from some of their abilities. Where with a character like this, I mean, you're gonna definitely benefit from getting him to max with all of his abilities without a doubt.
Yeah, you can go without that 6th, investing the purple mats in that basic. It's not all it does. It just goes up 20% damage, and he doesn't do that much damage in his kit. So you can save yourself 120 some odd purple mats there on that ability.
Right. Unless you're using them in your arena, then you're going to want them maxed out anyway. But moving along, our number 4 protector in Marvel Strike Force is Kingpin.
Yes, Kingpin. Someone just in the chat just said, I think it was Drac Knight just said he just unlocked Kingpin. So here you go. This one's for you, buddy. This one, I believe, is the only non-taunting protector, but he does have a summon. He can summon up to 2 bodyguards. I think it's at level 6. It's 2 bodyguards every time, and as soon as you spawn them in on that move, they automatically taunt. So it kind of has a taunt, and they do 300% normal damage, but they usually just get hit immediately and die. You do get 100% normal health at the level 6 ability for those minions. And what he does is he has a lot of assist mechanics in his kit. His basic attack, you get a 50% chance to gain an assist, and then also his boss's orders, which is the coolest part of his kit. It says 20% chance for assists from allies, twice as likely to select a villain or mercenary. Lots of assisting, and then that boss's order, he grants offense up and defense up to 5 allies for 2 turns. That's incredible. That's one of the best moves or best abilities in the game. Is overall is this boss's order, and it's just a game changer. I mean, you can just spam it first move. He is slow. So you'll probably go last, do the offense up, defense up for 2 turns, and then your attackers get, the next 2 turns they take, they're going to really pump out some damage, and they can eat some damage too. You can like Hawkeye, someone come in and just wipe it off, but still, it's I love him. I just got him myself. I got a 2-star Kingpin. I'm slowly just fooling around with him, but and also his Mastermind unique at the start of any villain ally turn. 20% chance for an ally to gain team attack for that turn, so it's another assist mechanic. He doesn't do much damage himself, but he calls all these assists, and assists do half damage. So,
yeah, he has a great kit. I mean, obviously the crime lord ability, calling in, his minions to taunt and do damage. That's fantastic. Boss's orders is probably one of the best abilities in the game. With offense up to 5 allies and a 20% chance for assist from allies, twice as likely to assist a villain or mercenary for assist. And then there's also a unique here where you're not really tied to a specific type of faction or anything like that. But again, if you have a villain ally, there's a 10% chance, or at the end, it would actually be a 20% chance for ally to gain team attack for that turn. So there's a lot of assisting in his kit, and like you said, he doesn't do a ton of damage, but he's really more of a facilitator to the rest of the team, kind of like like I guess the conductor of the orchestra. I guess you could call it. I mean, he kind of helps facilitate buffs to the rest of the team, call and assist. So overall, he's a great overall character that really kind of gives the rest of the team what it needs and facilitates them to be better in any type of battle situation. So I mean, he's a great character, I think, for both PvE content and arena content.
And the coolest part about Kingpin in this game is like his killing animation. Kingpin busts a flip. He does a backflip. It's pretty funny. That's funny to me.
That's awesome. But that's our number 4 protector in the game. Moving along to number 3. Who do we go with here, Maurice?
Hand Sentry. Now these next 3, these guys are 1A, B, and C. They are all pretty much must-have characters in your kit. And this one is actually a minion. So we'll do a lot of these top 5s. We'll probably start off with a pretty standard, protector, go through all the classes. There'll be very, very, very few minions that make these. But this guy is just so fantastic. Decent damage on his basic attack, 300% damage. But his smoke bomb, it's not a taunt. It's just like a passive taunt. Applies stealth to all allies except for himself for 2 turns. And then you apply evade to 4 of those allies. So that's pretty incredible. Not only do you stealth them, they can't be targeted, but AoE attacks, like let's say, like in Blitz, you face a lot of Punishers, a lot of big AoE damage, like Iron Man. If you time this right, you can just like Quake. Just think of all the AoE. Yondu won't hit them with their stealth, but all the AoEs, if you time the stealth properly and the evade, they'll just whiff, and it's pretty incredible. I'm actually seeing him a lot. I peep at the top few teams in my arena every so often, and there's a lot of hand sentries in the top 50 right now, which I found pretty incredible. And then he's also, much like Captain America, he's got a 15% block chance, and he gains an additional 10% damage. Just great, fantastic with the hand team. He's kind of difficult to get out of that rage store. There's so much in there to buy. I think he does have an in-game node on the one I haven't quite gotten to yet, but just a great character. Usable at 1 star. I mean, that's you just used him for his gimmick, his smoke bomb. 1-2 star, you get it done with him. One of the martial arts you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Martial artist.
Yeah, no, he's, again, a very simple character, like you said. He's a minion, so very rarely are you going to see a minion in this game actually reach this kind of level of gameplay, but he is one of those characters that's kind of an under-the-radar character that'll get used in arena and can be a very viable option at high-level gameplay. So, I mean, he's somebody that, with that smoke bomb, like you said, can evade, and much like, I guess, if you had to compare it to a character in Galaxy Heroes, much like R2-D2 can kind of taunt the rest, kind of basically passively taunt by stealthing the rest of the team, and then applied evade to those characters as well to help them avoid any AoE attacks. So, yeah, absolutely a fantastic character all around. His damage is pretty decent with his basic attack, and he does have a unique that increases his block chance and his damage as well. So, overall, a pretty simple kit, but very effective and can be used in a lot of different squad compositions. So he's a character that can benefit you like the others in PvE content and arena content, for sure. But that's our number 3 protector in the game. Moving on to number 2, and who we have here is actually the current Blitz character, Drax.
Yes. Regarded as probably the best raid tank. The only instance of pre-taunt we really have in the game starts the match with taunt. Loses, taunts for the whole turn, and then when he gets his turn, he has the option to taunt again if you wish, or he can heal himself if he really got pounded on. Oh man, such a good character. Really easy to farm out of the arena store. It's pretty much him or Quake. I mean, I don't know who else you'd start the game off farming. I mean, one of those two. You can't go wrong either way. They're both good options. Like I said, he's got a drain. We talked about Thanos. He also has a drain mechanic in his, I believe, Good Fighting is the name of it, at level 6. It's a 270% damage with a 40% drain. And then you can chain it to 1 to 5 adjacent targets for 210 damage and 40% drain. So that's a lot of health you can get back when you max that ability out. And his taunt itself, when you max it out, it's much like Luke Cage, where you get a taunt, and then you get 1 or 2 counters, and you also get defense up for 1 or 2. And defense up is a very important buff in this game, especially for Blitz. Any game mode, defense up is pretty important, unlike other games we've played in the past. Defense up actually does its purpose. And then
is he the only character that has pre-taunt in the game?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, having a pre-taunt obviously makes him a tremendous character. I mean, when pre-taunt was added to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, that kind of changed the meta in Arena because you had to now basically take this character out first before you could attack any of the other opponents, and that is kind of the same case here. I mean, with Drax, you're stuck attacking a guy who doesn't take a ton of damage because of his his strong health pool, and he also has really good abilities to kind of counter any attacks that he gets as well. So and like you said, he has an area of effect attack that can sort of hit. Well, it's not an area of effect attack, but essentially it is with the ability to attack up to 5 adjacent targets. And he also drains those targets as well, so he gains back health on top of that. So again, he's a character who's going to constantly be regaining health, taunting, and really can cause a lot of mischief. Definitely one of the best tanks in the game. And his damage is not too high, but again, he's got a lot of utility, so he's a viable character also in any option in this game. Great character for raids, and also a fantastic character for PvP. So he's a great character all around, and somebody that you should be getting because he's a very easy character to attain. Like Maurice said, you can get him out of the arena shipments, and that's the same area where you're going to get your Quake and your, I believe it's Crossbone shards too. Not Crossbones. It's Quake, and who's the other character there?
I think Daredevil's in there, isn't he? Daredevil, and then
Daredevil.
Hand Archer is pretty good, but I don't think you need to go after him right away. That's real long term. You probably want to snag him.
My recommendation there would be to go for Quake first and then go for Drax second. Obviously, it's going to depend on the rest of the characters that you have. If you already have like Black Widow and some other characters, you may want to reverse that and go for Drax first. But eventually, as more of the Guardians characters become available in the game, like Star-Lord, Groot, and Rocket Raccoon, characters like this are going to become essential, and their synergy is fantastic. So if you were able to somehow at some point put together a full Guardians team, they could be OP. So Yeah, I mean, he's a great character all around and definitely worth, a listing here at number 2. But moving along to our number 1 protector in Marvel Strike Force, and we have none other than Captain America himself, the first Avenger. So, why did we go with him here?
Just well, he is the best tank in the game, in my opinion. Spams a lot of ability energy, AOE defense up, relatively quick for a tank. He can get up the defense up pretty quickly, much quicker than some of these other tanks. He's got a whole lot of chaining, or not a whole lot, 30% chance to chain, and then 50% chance to gain defense up for himself on his basic. And his taunt, when you hit it at level 6, it gain taunt and defense up, apply defense up to 10 allies. So this is an ability you could use with a couple summoners and get a lot of those little minions in there, or maybe some of the campaign missions where you have the little helpers that the game gives you. It'll apply to them as well. And then he grants 1 ability energy to 1 to 2 Avenger allies, and then additional ability energy to 1 to 2 other random allies. So, like, you use them in arena, and that's you can get your Quake off first round. You can get your Crossbones off, your Yondu's arrow. You can get all of these massive AOE damage attacks. Iron Man has a great chance to get at least 2 ability energy out of the deal. Just get those big ultimates off really, really quick and just decimate the team. So shield throw, it not only dispels, it clears two positive effects, I believe at level 6. Yeah, 2 positive effects, and then chains. So and it clears the positive effects off them too. And then also he's got a massive block chance in his kit, 25% block chance, 5% block amount, and then an additional 5% block chance per Avenger ally. The only knock maybe on Iron Man on Captain America is that the AI always throws the shield first. So you're going to win the majority of any sort of mirror match because you have the advantage where you can inspire and taunt and give all the ability energy a turn before the other team does. So that's the only knock I really have on him. The rest of his kit is just phenomenal. He's just a great, great tank. Two nodes to farm out of. We mentioned that pack that the game gives you at the very beginning. And I would be shocked if there's not something coming here in the next day or two in terms of another deal for him. So,
well, hopefully there is, because I would love to buy another Captain America pack, and he is like you said, a fantastic all-around character with the shield throw, being able to dispel positive effects, and attack multiple targets with pretty decent damage. His basic attack also gives him a chance for defense up, and being that he's a tank, that's a huge positive buff to have. Inspire obviously grants ability energy to his allies, and there's a huge bonus for Avenger allies to be teamed up with him as well. Also applies defense up for 3 allies, and taunt, and he's got pretty much the best tank kit in the game, like you said, and again, when coupled with some other Avenger allies, only gets a little bit better. And as we add more Avengers to the game, again, Iron Man coming into this game is going to be a tremendous character to add with Captain America. Their synergy is fantastic. As you've seen, they have an ability to work together, and they have an attack that they do where Iron Man can shoot sort of a fire stream off of Captain America's shield against the other squad. It's an area of effect attack, so that's definitely a cool synergy to have if you're going to be getting Iron Man this week. So, Captain America is definitely somebody you're going to want to have with Iron Man. And on top of that, they're going to gain all those Avenger bonuses together. And, as we get more characters in the game, obviously there's going to be more Avengers as well. And he's always going to be a relevant character because he is probably one of the faces of Marvel, period. And just a fantastic character all around. Definitely a character that you should go for. And probably, again, somebody you can get to a higher level pretty easily with some of the farming of the higher level nodes, but he's going to take a little while to get there. So you start off the game, you're going to have to, definitely, defeat some battles. And I believe he has 2 nodes, right? The second node is very hard to beat.
yeah, the second node is where you just fight Ultimus alone.
Right.
Did 20 energy too for you to go in there and experiment around on it. So
I haven't even gotten there. So I mean, like, that second node is going to be pretty hard to defeat. But again, once you get there, if you do defeat that, he's a character you're going to be able to get, up fairly quickly and worth the whatever it is, 160 energy or 180 energy that you're going to be spending a day to farm this character because
for sure.
He's definitely somebody you want to get done ASAP. So, absolutely great character to have at number one and the best protector in the game. But honorable mention, we didn't have one last week, but it goes without saying that this character definitely deserves a bit of this conversation here. And that is Crossbones. Why is he our honorable mention, Maurice?
Well, it's not that he's the sixth best protector. It's just that he is an offense-oriented protector, which is pretty unique. Detonate. Detonate. Like, really, the only time I personally taunt with Crossbones is after he detonates, has a couple death proofs on him just to eat some damage. Like, I never taunt first with him because I don't want him to get hit. I don't want him to die.
Right, you want him to survive too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Detonate is just massive AoE damage. He hurts himself too, but who cares? After he blows up, he's really kind of useless anyway. I'm trying to get the exact number. Mine is actually at level 6. Level 6, it's 430% damage to self and all enemies. And then when we do get that eventual level cap increase where you can take it to gear level 7, it's 510% damage to all allies. That's insane. He's got, he has a max health and max armor unique. He gets 15% health. Hydra allies gain 5 armor. That includes himself. Gets some counter on his taunt. For the raids, it's not bad. His taunt's not bad. If you don't really have much of a move, you can just taunt and heal your Crossbones up 15% just for free. Because, you're not going to use the taunt probably at the start of the next match. And then he's got offense down on his basic, which is pretty handy.
It also depends on how high level your Crossbones is. I mean, if you have, like, let's say a 6-star Crossbones with all of his gear maxed out to gear like 11 or something like that, I mean, then you have some room to play with there. You can taunt with him and he's going to survive. If you have a kind of lower level Crossbones, you really just kind of have him in there for that detonate. So you want him to survive, and you're going to probably want to avoid using that taunt so that he doesn't die rapidly. But when you do have the health pool to kind of use that taunt, he does do a decent amount of damage with his counterattacks and can kind of slowly wither away at your opponents with these small basic attacks countering with his taunt, and can be a great kind of second taunt, especially in PvE content like raids, like you said, and protect some of your higher damage allies like your Gamoras and your Black Widows and Black Panthers and your Yondus and characters like that you don't want to have see take any damage. He'll be kind of a protector for them. Thus the protector tag, and that wraps it up for our top 5 protectors this week, courtesy of good old Maurice and Ramona Zab. Hope you guys liked that. Definitely leave us a like if you like the top 5. We're going to do another top 5 next week. That'll be a surprise. But we did top 5 brawlers last week, top 5 protectors this week, so you can guess where we're going next week. But let's get back to some gameplay here. So overall, yeah, I'm a fan of the of Crossbones. I haven't really gotten him too high level yet. I used him a lot at first. But then, obviously everybody was telling me, go for Quake, go for Quake, go for Quake. So I've been just working on her. I did, not Quake, sorry, go for Gamora. So I've been going for Gamora.
Yeah, it's just defensively, he can be a bit of a liability because he does favor that taunt. And so he taunts and allows the other team, they have no choice but to attack him. So they can get rid of him before he gets a chance to detonate. Pairs really well with Captain America, our number 2 tank or number 1 tank. Because again, Captain America can throw his taunt up, and if RNG is in your favor, at level 6 you only need 1 ability energy to get him going. So Captain America feeds him, ability energy, and then first move he can just detonate. So that's before the opposing team, gets up the defense, gets any sort of buffs, slows him down, whatever the case may be. So that's pretty intense when that happens.
Well, I wanted to get your opinion on this here because this is actually an interesting conversation to have, and some people feel different ways about this. But as you can see here, my Gamora is at 79 to 300. Okay, so I'm on my way to 7-star. Um, do you think it makes sense to continue to work on Gamora and get her up to 7 stars? Or do you think I should just kind of leave her be now that I have her at 6 stars, start farming, some of the other characters there like Spider-Man and Crossbones, and then just, let her kind of naturally get to 7 stars through packs and through free drops, and maybe eventually, start farming her again to finish her up. But kind of let that go so that I don't have her at 7 stars and waste any shards that I get for her. Through a natural, kind of means, or through just kind of the process of playing the game.
Well, I do something. Well, a lot depends. It like if you really like me, I really, really, really enjoy Blitz mode. It's my favorite game mode. I like to keep groups of 5, like characters all. I kind of slowly work them up together, so there's not like big gaps in power. Because I mean, if you get into Blitz, like you're really pimped out. Gamora here is probably your highest character by what 2,000, 3,000. So I mean, something probably crazy.
It's a large amount, yeah.
Yeah, so you bring your top 5 characters into Blitz, and sure, your Gamora hits like a truck, but the opposing team is just an average power of based on your team. So your Gamora will hit like a truck, but the rest of your characters they won't hit for very much, just because the opposing armor and defense and the hit points are just too much for them to overcome. But I mean, if you're not worried about Blitz, I don't personally see any reason why you shouldn't do it like that. I don't know. I do Blitz differently. I got my Gamora to 5. I got her about 5.5. I got my Crossbones to 5, and now I just open those Blitz orb packs for 350. I mean, yes, I get some of the undesirable characters, but I get a little bit of credit. I get a little bit of gold, and I'll eventually get all the characters eventually. Anyway, so it's a better value, long term. I won't be the first one to have 7-star Gamora, Crossbones on my shard, but I will have more gold and all of the characters. Like, let's say that Red Skull comes out and we need 5 Hydra characters. I'm kind of prepared because I've been pulling these Blitz orbs, and I've got Hydra. I've got all the Hydra characters in there.
I can't wait for I can't wait till Red Skull comes out. That'll be really cool. Yeah, no, I agree. I understand exactly what you're saying, and I think that there is a benefit to kind of letting the character kind of progress through natural means, because I mean there really isn't a huge benefit, and there's no necessity to have 7-star characters as there is in the other games. So in Star Wars,
there will be. We just haven't played it long enough,
Right, of course. I mean they'll have a raid where you have to use only 7-star characters probably eventually, but right now there isn't. So at the moment, the characters can all be used at 6 stars, 5 stars. So you don't really need to have the characters 7 stars. Obviously, it'd be nice to get the characters there, and that's how you do ultimately start getting ultimate shards. But for the time being, being that I'm trying to build up a roster at the moment, and I really don't have any 7-star characters, I think getting her to what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get her to 6 stars and like 100 shards or 150 shards, and I'm going to stop there. I'm going to start working on Crossbones and getting him up to the same level, and then Spider-Man. And I'm sure while I'm doing that, I'll continue to get Gamora shards through other means, occasionally pulling her from the free packs and from the the premium packs whenever I get the enough orbs for that. But it makes sense because and that's the advice I also got from somebody who was playing the game since launch, is that you don't necessarily need to have these characters in 7 stars. I mean, again, you want to get the characters high enough level where they're going to be viable for you in arena, but in most arenas right now, especially my arena and level that we're playing at, there's not really a lot of guys running a full squad of 7-star characters, so you don't really need that right now. Your main focus should be, I think, just trying to put together enough squads so that you can defeat some of this PvE content like Blitz and raids and things like that, to kind of give you enough resources so that eventually when we do get to end game, you'll have all the resources that you need to be able to be effective there, so you can beat people in arena with your characters, because you've been farming gear and farming just playing at a high level with your PvE content. Because right now there really is, like you said, like no real benefit even to being the top dog, other than I guess extra crystals and things like that. But as far as that goes, most of that stuff is being used towards refreshes if you're using your resources correctly, because that's what the name of the game is. It's basically farming and using your refreshes to um, try to get gear and get these characters to a level where they're going to be competitive in all different variations of PVE content. Because again, the end game for Arena is still a little ways down the road when we do eventually all have 7-star characters, and we have some more characters, because a lot of these synergies are incomplete right now. I mean, you have a lot of factions out there that don't necessarily have a whole squad, kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy, your Avengers, characters like that. Once you eventually get a 7-star, Iron Man and Captain America and Black Widow, and you have a full Avengers squad you can take into Arena, that'll be a really sick end game team to put together there.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. Again, I'm also not as experienced as some of these players that have been playing since launch, or since the beta. So I mean, I think that as of right now, that's just where I see it. I mean, they could totally release a game mode that comes out next week, maybe Alliance Wars, where you need to have 7-star characters to compete with certain guilds. I don't know what they're going to do. It's still early in the game, so there's still a lot of options and possibilities. But the way I see it right now, it makes sense to just kind of keep farming resources and try to get as many characters to 6 stars, 5, 6 stars, 7 stars as possible, and worry about ultimates later, because I don't think that character is necessarily going to be such a huge game changer for you.
Dude, there is. I mean, some of these other YouTubers and stuff have been playing since beta and have all the characters, and they have like 10 ultimate shards. It's like ultimates is a long way. Probably a year at least before I even have any ultimate shards at all. So
that's just getting them unlocked, basically. I mean, like that's not having him at a viable level where you're going to need him. I mean, how good is he anyway? I mean, have you seen any videos of him, in gameplay? Like, I mean, is he even like a meta character?
From the looks of it, he's good, but I've only seen people just look at his kit, like just look at his kit and be like, well, this. I mean, savvy players look at it and give it a decent type rating. It's not like the best character in the game, but then again, these players don't have him. They're just theory crafting, if you will. But
it's giving you their opinion, basically.
Yeah.
That's all you can do right
now. Drax Knight says hopefully Ultimus is better than Grievous.
Yeah. Hopefully he is better than Grievous. But I mean, the characters like that tend to be like General Grievous. I mean, usually the very rarely are the chase characters super meta. I mean, nowadays in Star Wars they are. I mean, like Darth Trey is meta. Kenobi was meta. I mean, like some of these chase characters now are super meta, but originally that wasn't the case. So we'll see. I mean, this game could follow suit or could be completely different. So far, they've started at a much more intense pace than I'm used to with the other games. So we'll have to see. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to still figure out about this game, like how they're going to handle certain things and what they're going to do. With certain with let's say, like I said earlier, character cadence, how they're going to handle, trying to get people to spend money in this game and kind of get their characters to 7 stars, because eventually they're going to want that. They're going to want you to have all your characters at a certain level. Obviously, they understand that right now they'd be secluding a large, section of the game, of the player base, because they did really just launch globally very recently. But eventually that's going to be the goal. I mean, they're going to try to get everybody to the point where you have 7-star characters and a certain gear level. Otherwise, you're not going to be viable enough to play in that game mode. And eventually, when Alliance Wars comes out, that'll be even more competitive, because you'll have to, there'll obviously be some element where if you're not doing certain things or spending a certain amount of money, you'll be behind the eight ball with the rest of your guildmates, which will cause them to try to either replace you or whatever it is. I mean, so there'll be some of that eventually too. But right now, there's still a very relaxed kind of feel to the game because there aren't restrictions like that. So at the moment, you can kind of get away with kind of playing it at a more of a casual pace. But do we have any? So, if you guys have any questions or comments or anything you'd like to discuss on the stream, now's the time where we typically do that. So you can type in the chat. If you'd like to talk about something specific, or maybe you want to talk about Mordo or Iron Man event that's coming. If anybody's going to be able to get Iron Man, definitely want to hear about that. Good luck to everybody, by the way, for the Iron Man event. If anybody's going to be unlocking him. But now would be the time to discuss any topics that you guys have, or discuss any questions that you guys have. So type those into the chat, and we'll try to get them hammered out before the end of the stream. Did we have any questions before?
Yeah, we got a couple. Blah, 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 blah. When is Sauron coming from Sith Lord?
Sauron? Yeah, that's an awesome. Sauron is a character from Mordor. Right? You're talking about the Lord of the Rings Sauron?
Yes. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think that's a sarcastic question.
Yes, and so he totally got me there, actually. That's well done, Sith Lord. Okay. DSP, is Spider-Man underrated in your opinion? Thoughts?
Yes.
A little.
I think Spider-Man actually has a pretty good kit. Now, maybe I'm just a fanboy and I just really want Spider-Man to be good, so that's why I'm saying that. But I don't know. When I look at his kit, I see something there. I don't know if it's. I mean, again, he's a high evasion character, and his damage at the level that I have him at right now isn't super awesome. But then again, I don't have him leveled up to where I would say I could really give him a 100% grade and say that I definitively know that he's not good or he is good. So I would have to say I'd have to give him a little bit more testing before I could tell you that he's like a bad character. But I think that so far he looks like he's got a decent kit and he can be definitely beneficial, at least in PvE content. I'd have to try him out a little bit more before I could tell you for sure that he'd be, oh, come on, man. Fighting against Wolverine last is never a good thing.
No, it's just his kit's good. He is quick. You always want to have at least one quick, damage dealer on your team. He's quick, like you talked about. He's got very high evasion. I just feel there are better characters that serve the same role as him. He does have a very nice ultimate that's stun, and when you get level 6, I think it's 440% damage. So that's a lot of damage. He does decent damage. Has chaining, the stun. He's got a good kit. Good, solid character. Just solid all around. I think a lot of people kind of underestimate him, if they do, just because, he's one of the first characters you get. And a lot of the fun of this game is collecting everything and opening brand new stuff. And, I think he kind of gets forgotten about. And, he's in, what is he, the Blitz, I believe it is. Is it Blitz or Arena? No,
he's in Blitz.
Yeah, and you got your Blitz store, and you just want to farm Grimoire and Crossbones first. So Spider-Man kind of just sits there and waits,
Well, that's pretty much what I'm saying. Is I think that there's some merit to him he just starts off at a as the first character you get, and people just kind of take him for granted. I think that there is some merit to his kit, though. I just don't know if it's primarily because I haven't put the resources into him, like you said. And I've kind of focused on Gamora and then on Crossbones more. I feel like I can't really tell you whether he's end game material or not, but I do believe they're better characters.
Yeah, and you do see a couple of the more experienced players like Seaton and stuff. Those guys are using Spider-Man in some of their Blitz teams, like Tier 8. So he definitely has some use. It's just in what order, at what point you want to go all in on Spider-Man. Like there's so many better characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I don't really have a very good Spider-Man either. So.
Right. It's like I'd just be speaking with inexperience, but I mean,
Yeah.
his kit does look good, and it makes sense that he would be good. And there are probably characters that have or people that have high level Spider-Man that can give you a better answer. But I think that from what I see, I can't see why he wouldn't be good. I just think that he's not as high damage as some of the other characters, I think, and the evasion mechanic is pretty cool. But again, it's just missing something, that some of these other characters have that make them explosive. And what I mean by that is characters like Gamora who get to go again, and Black Widow with the stealth, and characters like Iron Man, who's a high damage character, and Black Panther, who again gets to do multiple attacks and kind of do different flurries of attacks. It's just he's missing something like that that makes him OP, and I mean, he's not supposed to be OP. He is a character that you get kind of at the beginning of the game, and maybe end game that'll be a little bit different. When we're talking about maybe a year from now, as we have maybe if he gets the Avenger tag and we have more Avengers in the game. But I'm sure there'll be different iterations of Spider-Man. This will not be the only Spider-Man that we get. At some point, we'll get, we'll get, we'll get the, Avengers 4 Spider-Man with the Iron Man suit, and with that, with the Spidey legs, and we'll get different versions of Spider-Man altogether. We'll probably get black suit Spider-Man at some point in this game. I would doubt very much that we're not going to get Venom, and possibly. I mean, the Venom movie is coming out in a few months, so I'm pretty sure around that time they'll be releasing Venom in this game for sure as well, and he'll probably be a really cool character. And at that point, they'll probably have, maybe Carnage. I don't know if Carnage is going to be in the movie, but I know there are talks about him being like making a cameo, or possibly just maybe kind of some sort of reference to Carnage, possibly being in the next movie as the villain. So, we'll see.
Well, I remember in my short-lived Marvel Future Fight career that Carnage was the man.
Yeah.
I remember him being super good in that game. So,
yeah, the character of Carnage is a super bad villain, and the movie, the Venom movie, doesn't look like it's going to be following the kind of MCU bubbly type feel. So I don't think it's going to be one of those movies that has a happy ending. I think Venom's going to be a pretty dark film, and I think that Carnage, if he does eventually go into that realm, or if he's a character in that film series or in that universe, he's a much darker character than even Venom. So I don't know where they're going to go or how they're even going to tie that into Spider-Man and all the other characters, but I'm really interested to see that movie because that's going to be a really, really cool movie. I mean,
yeah, you think it would be more dark and serious because Tom Hardy's playing Venom, correct?
Yes.
So he's not really known for his his light roles. You know what I mean?
No.
So
No, it's gonna be hardcore, and
yeah.
the character that Carnage is I forget what his name is. I think it's I forgot his real name. It's Kennedy or do you
Oh, I
remember?
have no idea, man.
Anyway, Carnage is real, like who he is when he's not Carnage. Like his real persona is a murderer. Like he's straight up like just he kills children and stuff. He's like a really evil dude. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he's like and in the comics, he's super dark. So I mean, I don't know how they're gonna do that or tie that in. I think that's partly why we haven't seen Carnage in any movie Spider-Man franchise yet, is because Carnage is like such a dark character. So I don't know if they would be able to do him justice in like an MCU movie. But if they brought Carnage into like an R-rated or a really dark Venom movie, that could be different. So I mean, it'd be interesting to see what they do there. But anyway, do we have any more questions?
Yeah, do you guys have any Gear 11 characters? Try to see who asked that. Kai Bear.
I do not. My highest gear level is I think gear 9 with with Gamora, and that's partly why I'm working on some of these battles here because I've kind of fallen behind on gear because I've just been farming some of the same nodes over and over again, and I really need to kind of work on that. So that's why I'm kind of trying here right now to beat some of these battles so I can get my characters to gear 10, gear 11, but I probably have some of the gear to get there. I just need a few more pieces, and I could get, once I get some more of these battles done here, I'll probably get Gamora to gear 11 here in the coming weeks.
Cool. Yeah. No, none here either. I've just got a couple gear 9s. No, I don't think I even have a 10 yet. So getting there. When do you guys think they'll release the next tier of the Ultimates raid from Drac Knight?
Hmm. Well, they'd have to increase the level cap then at that point, right? I mean, we'd have to get to level 70.
I would think that would probably come with a level cap increase. We did have level 60 in the Thanos and the Deadpool, and there are guilds that are 100%ing that. So we'll see. The higher our characters get, the longer this game's out, the further our roster gets. I mean, we start getting gear 10, gear 11 characters. I mean, I think a level 60 Ultimates rate is definitely in the cards. I mean, it's not unachievable.
Right. I think we'll get probably. I think we'll get that by the end of the summer. I mean, they're already getting to the point now where some players who play this game are saying that they're kind of running out of content here because they've been kind of doing the same thing now. And this is the same thing that was kind of going on in beta too. It's not really much different. It's really been the same, just with the exception of releasing some characters. So I'm sure that the Alliance, they're probably focusing first on the Alliance Wars. So I'm assuming that that'll probably happen first before we see anything else. But after that, I mean, anything's up for grabs. So I mean, I'd imagine that after we get the Alliance Wars, we'll probably see some sort of increase to the raids and other PvE content.
All right, Josue Garcia's got a couple questions. First one is, are y'all going to be able to unlock Iron Man this go round?
No, unfortunately, it makes me want to cry at night and go to sleep early tonight. I just kind of want to tuck myself under the sheets and just kind of hold my teddy bear. But
Yeah, I've got 2 5-star, Quake and Hawkeye.
yeah, I'm not getting Iron Man anytime soon. But now that I know that that's definitely the requirements, I mean, we were hearing rumors about it, and I thought it would happen eventually, but I'm not prepared yet. So now I'm definitely going to start to focus on some of these Shield characters a little bit more, even though I got to tell you, I'm not really in love with a lot of them. I wish I had like Black Widow, but I don't. So I'm going to have to level up my some of the Shield characters that I didn't necessarily want to invest too much time into, but it's worth it for Iron Man. So I mean, I'm going to probably work on. I'm going to continue to work on Quake. I'm going to continue to work on Captain America. Continue to work on
Hawkeye. You probably want Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. Yeah, absolutely Hawkeye. And then I'm gonna start also work on what's that character that you just bought? Shield operative or Shield?
Yeah, she's actually not terrible. She's actually a pretty darn good character. Yeah. She's got a dispel on her basic attack, clear 1 positive effect from a target, and she casts slow. And she's got a 2-turn healing ability. It's not very. It's kind of an heal, but you do get regeneration for 3 turns. Or excuse me, apply regeneration 3 times for 1 turn. So you do heal yourself up decently. Decent little character, not nothing flashy. A lot better than Shield Medic, Shield Assault. Shield Trooper is awful. That character sucks. Don't make him one of your 5. But see, we missed this. So there's a good chance we'll have Black Widow. Maybe I have no idea the cadence of when this will come back around. But I mean, if it's every 3 months, there's a good chance we might have Black Widow by then. Captain America will be 5-star. We won't have to farm a lot of these undesirable like Shield Assault characters.
I really hope that Black Widow's farmable by that point, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I really want Black Widow really bad. I mean, she's a great character, yeah, I mean, there'll probably be other Shield characters that come into the game that aren't in the game yet either.
Well, Nick Fury's Shield.
Right, exactly.
I think
I would, I would,
I
I
don't
wouldn't,
know
I would,
how.
I wouldn't mind leveling up Nick Fury. He's got a sick set of abilities. I mean, like I mean, I don't know what his kit is offhand, but I know that he's got like, he's a summoner also, and he's got a lot of bonuses with other uh, Shield characters. So I mean, I think he would be a great addition to like a full Shield squad for sure, as like a sort of like a facilitator or a leader.
Yeah. All right, second question was how many tanks do you guys run on defense? I'm currently running Cap, Drax, Crossbones to go along with Yondu and Quake. Sounds like he runs well three, one of them being Crossbones.
Right now I'm running um, right now I'm running Thanos, which I probably eventually should move away from because I only have 4 star. But I'm running Thanos and the rest of this team that you see here. So I was running Captain America, but because my Captain America is kind of falling behind and I haven't reached that high level node yet to get him, at a higher level. Eventually, when I do, I'll be going back to Captain America and probably Crossbones on defense. But right now, I'm really running more of an offense based team. That's kind of why I'm really not like high level in arena. I'm really kind of low level at the moment. But eventually, when I do make my run to try to be a higher level opponent or to try to get a better payout, which I will do eventually. I'm planning on running a 3 tank team, kind of similar, but I'm thinking either Crossbones or maybe even Drax as a third tank.
Yeah, I really got to ramp up my Drax. I'm just using two Captain America and Crossbones. Not the best. Those are just my two of my best characters. I'd love to take Crossbones out on defense. Maybe use Drax.
Well,
It would be Drax. I just don't think Thanos is really that scary.
if you had a 6 star Thanos, yes, I'm saying like
Yeah.
because he's got a really good. I'm just saying like again if I realistically where my Thanos is at, I'm probably going to be looking at Drax and Captain America as my 2 tanks, and the rest will be characters like Quake, Yondu, and hopefully I mean Gamora right now, but hopefully eventually Black Widow or somebody else like Iron Man or somebody like that.
Yeah. I think that's it for the questions. I don't see. Yeah, I don't really see any more questions.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming, and it's still kind of early, like I said in this game. So we have a lot of things to kind of look at and see which direction they go in with this stuff. It's still there's still a lot of looking at to see how they handle cadences, looking at how they handle new gear levels, looking to see how they handle character increases. Sorry, and also how they handle ability increases. Some of these challenges, how they're going to handle moving up with level cap increases, and so we still don't know how Marvel Strike Force is going to do their type of increases and upgrades, and when eventually they're going to start to set some 7 star requirements for certain game modes. So eventually we'll get there, but one step at a time. And hopefully, by the time we reach that point in our journey, we'll have a little bit more of a developed roster to mess around with. Obviously, I'm looking to. I have no problem investing money in this game. I wish they gave me a way to do it. Just maybe. And again, I'm not talking about. I would never. I don't think I'd ever be a whale in this game like I was in Star Wars. But I'm saying I would. I would definitely go and buy some of these characters to get a little bit of a head start at least, or kind of get some of these characters in a more of a positive direction, so I could farm them a little bit faster. Kind of like we were talking about a little bit earlier. So I hope that they do eventually start to consider that as an option for some of these characters that they're putting into these blitzes and things like that, so we can maybe get possibly Black Widow shards, possibly Vision shards, possibly Cable shards. Right now the fact that there isn't a deal for me to buy Cable shards or buy Black Widow shards or buy Mordo shards next week when they put him out there for the tournament or the Blitz. I feel like is just a lost opportunity for the company and for us as players. So hopefully they take player feedback and kind of see that everybody who plays this game is really not in love with the packs and the deals that they're putting out. I know we're never going to be in love with spending money, but never, not being in love with spending money and just being, having outrageous deals are two separate things. So hopefully they kind of take a look at that and make some adjustments. But I think we're going to wrap it up here, guys. It's been a lot of fun. Again, this is our second Marvel Strike Force stream. We'll be back next Friday with another Marvel Strike Force stream, so definitely come back and check it out. We'll have another top 5 for you guys, and hopefully at that point we'll be doing the Mordo Blitz, so we'll do some live Mordo Blitz here on the stream as well. That should be live next Friday, and we'll be talking a little bit more about Iron Man and how many shards I got, and if they release some cool packs over the next few days, maybe for Captain America, I'll let you know whether I got that. And, if I do, I'll definitely record that for you guys too, but so I can play it on the stream next week. But I'll be putting out, a top 5 this week and probably another Marvel Strike Force video sometime between Monday through Friday. I'll put out another video, not a top 5, but some other video of gameplay and maybe defeating. Somebody had asked me earlier if I could put a video out of defeating some of the other nodes, like maybe the Captain America node. So once I get there, I'll try to put together a video for that too. So again, but I appreciate everybody checking out the stream. We'll be back next week on Friday. I hope you guys have a great week and good luck getting your Iron Mans. But I'll see you next week, and may the Force be with you guys. I'll see you on the next one.